Hi guys, it is Devika and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I thought of sharing my journey to Canada. I realized that I've done videos on biometrics, I've done videos on the loan procedure, but I've never done a full-fledged video of my whole journey to Canada, and this is like a very emotional and a video that is very close to my heart because of the things that I've gone through, because of the moments that I thought that I could never make it here, to a place that I can happily finally share this video with you. Yeah, so just to give you a little background of where I am right now or what I'm doing. So I have currently been in Canada for about 9 months, almost 9 months. I came in during last December, and I am in London, Ontario. I'm studying at Fanshawe College. I'm done with my first course. My first course was Public Relations and Corporate Communication. It was a postgraduate diploma course of 1 year, and I'm done with it. I'm currently on my break, and I will start my second course, which is Digital Communication Management, during the winter intake. That is a little backdrop for you. Now let's get started on my whole journey. Now this video isn't really an instructional video on the procedures you should do. It's rather my journey, my mistakes, and what you could avoid doing to make your journey a little bit more easier. Let's get started. So I feel like I started my journey fairly enough. So I came to Canada in December 2022, and I started my journey in January of 2022, which means I had a whole year to come in for the winter intake next year. So first step was looking into the type of courses I wanted to do and the type of agencies that I could trust. And one of the biggest names in the market, at least if you're a Malayali, you will know that it is Santamonica. So naturally I went to Santamonica to register myself, and the first course with study abroad comes to IELTS. So if you want, I could make a separate video on this, but I attended my IELTS exam on the 19th and the 17th of March, and I attended it in Trivandrum itself. And as of my coaching, I did not go for any physical coaching. All the coaching that I did was online, which is by Leap Scholar. It is a free platform, so I remember doing a lot of tests, a lot of quizzes, and speaking was my favorite. I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos and kind of pause at the moment where they ask questions and try to answer it a lot. So I wouldn't say that IELTS was very easy for me, but since I was brought up in Dubai, a lot of my language skills were developed there. It was a little bit more easier for me to catch. So once my IELTS was done, I got the result within the next 14 days, and I got a band of 7.5, and all my individuals bands were also pretty good, so I could start applying to colleges. So when I started the whole application process, I was still in my final year of college, and I did not really want to take a break or a gap year in between. That is why I started it right after my college. And the problem with starting right after college is that you have to wait for your transcript to come out, you have to wait for your mark list to come out. So I remember I started the process when I was in my, I want to say my 5th semester. So I had to wait for my entire degree certificate to come out before I could give out a full-on application, which is why a lot of delay came in my application, as I'll tell you the further parts of the video. So once I got my IELTS, it was time to apply to colleges and universities. I was very keen on taking a media related course. The options that I got were from contemporary journalism to interactive media management, but I really had a thought in my mind that I wanted to do public relations or advertising. That is why I looked into Fanshawe and I applied to 3 colleges. So I applied to Centennial College for their public relations course on 8th of July. I applied to another campus called Algonquin. And that I applied on June 23rd, and I applied for interactive media management, and I applied to Fanshawe at last call on August 10th for public relations. And from Fanshawe, I got a request for submitting supplemental materials, which was just an updated resume, statement of intent, and also sample of our written work. And once that was submitted, the wait began. So since I was coming in for the winter intake, which is the January intake, a lot of courses are closed, right? We do not have a lot of option, especially a lot of media courses are closed during the winter intake. So I did not really have a lot of option, and as I've mentioned earlier, since I did not really want to take a gap year, I just decided to do what I could. So yeah, it was a long wait in between. To be honest, I submitted all my documents in a conditional manner because I did not have my degree certificate as of then. But my marks for my bachelor's were pretty good. For all of my semesters were pretty good, that I got considered, I guess. So my first offer letter was from Algonquin, which I received on August 18th. I got in for the interactive media management, and since I did not get a reply from either Fanshawe nor Centennial, I decided to move forward with Algonquin. Now the thing with Algonquin was it was a 2-year course. It was interactive media management, and the course outline, there was a lot of languages you had to learn, a lot of coding you have to learn, which I wasn't really looking for. I really wanted to do something more towards digital communication, advertising, writing, public relations and all. That's why even though I started, I was like, okay, I'll accept this. There was something in the back of my mind saying that, you know, maybe you should wait a little more. And down and behold, I got my offer letter for Fanshawe College on September 12th. It was quite a long time after that. But between this time, I had already started my loan procedure. So I had to kind of resubmit my offer letters so that it was for a different course, but the fees were almost similar to each other. That's why it didn't create a lot of confusion, and my loan procedure was also not to furtherly develop for it to be affecting them. Now with Fanshawe, I had to pay an application fees of $2,000, or a deposit amount rather, of $2,300 to secure the seat. And then they had given, I think it was 2 months, I want to say, period of time where you could pay the fees. And this 2 months time is when I applied for a loan. Now if you want to see that video, I have made a whole ass video on my entire loan procedure, but something that I've never mentioned in that video is a pain that I went through. I don't even remember if I mentioned it clearly, but for anyone who is for anyone applying for a loan, please stay away from SBI. It is the most horrendous, most horrific bank you could ever think of. I did not get my loan sanctioned. I did not get my loan approved until and unless I literally had to go out there and cry in front of the bank manager, the situation that was that bad. And this was after submitting all my loan documents, everything, running around collecting all the documents that they've given, the long list that they've given. Even after submitting, the bank never sent my application to the next authority. So how SBI works is, SBI is the branch where we submit the documents. They go through the valuation, they go through the lawyers for completing the procedures, and then they have to send it to another branch called the RASMEC, which is where the loans get approved. My application sat in the bank for I want to say like 2-3 months, until I had to go and literally beg the bank manager, and she told that she forgot about my application. Yeah, that is how much they care about our education. For all the people who are asking, why did you migrate to Canada? Why are all the students going? This is the reason. I had to beg different people for getting a loan. it still blows my mind to this day, the amount of efforts that I've gone through, the amount of phone calls that I had to do. It is just horrendous. So stay away from SBI for anyone who is applying, for your own sake. If you want to come in time, stay away. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, so finally, after the most torturous period of time that I've gone through. Oh, in between this, I forgot to tell you, I got my offer letter rejected because I could not pay my fees on time because the bank did not give me the loan. Yay! Because I got that rejected, and it meant that I had to defer to next September, which is around now, that I should have come in. But I really did not want to, and I just wanted to come in January because I did not want to delay that process any further. So that is why I went ahead with a strong face and I got my loan accepted. So once a loan was accepted, I opened a GIC account. I opened a GIC account with Simply, which I did not know because I was stupid and didn't ask them. So once that was all done, I was ready to apply for a visa. Now for visa, I wrote the SOP on my own. And yeah, I submitted all the documents, and I submitted all the documents on November the 14th. Keeping in mind that I have a course that starts, I have a program that starts in the January. So literally 2 months from when I submitted my visa application. Now this is 2022, when the visa applications were much more slower than what it is right now. Oh my God, the waiting process was horrendous. It is just like, what am I waiting on? It's never gonna come. So that was all the thought process for that entire 2 months. But anyways, I submitted for my visa on November the 14th. My biometrics was on November the 19th in Bangalore, and it was fun. Bangalore trip was one of the most fun trips in my life. But yeah, after that was a waiting game. Mentally, I was prepared to come in or defer to another course either, or just come in either May or September for public relations. But lo and behold, I got my visa accepted. I don't know what luck I had in me that at that time that I got my visa accepted during within less than like a month. So I submitted my application on November 19th and I got my passport request on December the 7th. Yeah, I know. I got my visa, I got my passport request on December the 7th, and everything after that was just like a dream. I do not remember much of what happened because I did not have time to process anything. I gave my passport for getting it stamped, and I gave it on December 9th, and I got it back in within December 12th, and I was ready to go. Now the problem is, since I was so mentally prepared, since this idea was on my mind that I was not going in January, I had done nothing. No accommodation, no packing, luggages, nothing. I don't know what was running through my mind, but nothing. I had to start everything eventually. So I was in this Malayali 360 group that I've mentioned in a couple of my videos before, but amazing, helpful group. So I was asking one of the people I met there for an accommodation, and they kind of gave me a reference into an accommodation. And now thinking back, I realized how stupid I was, because I was in that moment where I was about to come into this whole new country with no one. I had no contact on, and I had no place to stay. I understand how stupid I am. But and in that condition, I saw a house, and it looked decent at the moment. It was a basement room, it was sharing, and at that moment I did not really have a lot of to pick from as well, that I was like, okay, it is nearby college, so fine. I like once I reached here is when I heard other people talk about how they researched into it, how they looked at the bus stop from near it. I'm like, how stupid was I to not look at anything while coming into a new country? I don't know. Either way, yeah, so I got my accommodation like that, and for my flight, I had to book my flight at the last moment, which means that it is gonna be very, very expensive. So I booked my flight with Santa Monica Travels. I think that's what they're called. And it was a group flight. So lo and behold, for my journey, right? So I got there. I got on a flight on the 20th and I reached Canada on the 23rd. So it was a connection flight from Kochi to Bangalore, Bangalore to Ethiopia, and Ethiopia to Toronto. That was the entire flight. And honestly, I could have thought of a better choice. Ethiopian Airlines isn't the best flight, but we made it here. We made it. But yeah, that is a small and condensed version of my whole journey. And now thinking back, that it is unbelievable to think back and think that it was all like a year ago, and the amount of doubts that I had in my mind coming into a new country without anyone to fall back on, anyone to depend on. It is one of the most difficult journeys that I've been on in my life, to figure out a lot on my own. I think it's more of the thought that there is no one to fall back on, there is no one to call for help, and you are left alone. And I wouldn't lie to you, like the first few days on my journey here, it was very lonely, because I just felt like I did not know anyone, which I clearly didn't, but it was a whole journey. But now looking back at it, some of the people that I met first in Canada are some of the closest people I know to where I am right now. There's no other place or no other way I would have wanted this journey to be. All that running around back home, it taught me to value this journey much more and to run around more. It made the process of fitting in to Canada much easier. And yeah, that was my journey. If you have any other questions, you could ask me. If you have any other video ideas that you want, you can just comment it down below. Yeah, one more thing I wanted to mention is I came in for the winter intake, right? Just the stats on to how stupid I was. I came in for the winter intake without a proper winter jacket, thinking I would buy a jacket from here. But I came on the day of the storm. So I was outside, keeping my luggage in the bag on the day of a storm. I kid you not, negative 20 degrees without a winter jacket. Don't do that. Buy a jacket that provides you with sufficient heat, please, so that you don't get stranded in the cold like that. But yeah, again, if you have any doubts, if you have any queries, questions, put them down below and I'll try to answer them to the best that I know of. Now, I don't know about everything. I can only tell you relating to my journey or after checking something, so don't rely completely on me. Alright, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, if you like my channel, make sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.